Obey Jesus, saving Bitcoin. Jeremy Hain. All right, so
Aye.
the Eagles ruined the conference watch. Now you just have to win your division. And Dallas is playing good. They're playing great. I don't like it, but you gotta be honest in life.
Yeah.
Dallas
True.
is playing way better than us.
Yeah.
And I don't think we could beat them if we play them again. I don't think we could beat a playoff team. Because I don't think we can score more than 13 points. And I want Nick fired. I can't get off it. Can't shake it. It is. I think it could be a very simple fix, but I think if they've already lost the actual players, then I don't know.
Is that how you really feel, or it's what could be?
I'm just so annoyed that it's come to this with all that offensive firepower. You know, that whole Jims and Joes, not X's and O's, fine. But what do you have a coordinator for? I mean, I can tell AJ just run fast, and Jalen, you throw him the ball. Like, what is that? Fine, he's a very talented guy. These are very talented people, but you still what's the coordinator doing then? Ugh. I'm very, very bothered. Very bothered. And it looks like Dallas. See this is how you know you don't have a Super Bowl team. You're worrying about things like your 6-5-1, the second closest in your division catching you when they're playing a 7-5 team that you beat. I mean, this should be settled already. You know, all we had to do is beat Chicago, and then Chicago. Did you see Chicago's schedule?
No.
We're like the only winning team they beat.
No,
I'm tired of being the get well game. I'm tired of being the get well game.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Denver was 2-2.
Yeah.
If we just did what we were supposed to be, they're 2-3. Instead, they got all this confidence. Now they're 10-2.
Yeah.
And momentum's a real thing in sports and life, but especially in football.
Oh yeah.
I've been watching a long time.
Yeah.
An interception at the wrong time can completely flip a game.
Yep.
And a 2 or 3 game losing streak can ruin a season. I've seen it happen.
Mm-hmm. You've been watching a long time.
I've been watching a long time.
Yeah.
And I can't shake the feeling that we're going on a 3 game losing streak.
Mm-hmm.
And I was right about the first 2 parts of it. Look, the Texans snapped out of it. I think at one point they were 0-3. The Chiefs, they're
6-6.
One of these teams is gonna completely snap out of it. Oh, and they already have the playoff. I'm on NFL.com.
Oh.
Everybody probably knows. I don't think I'm telling anything new, but where's the playoff? Playoff.
Kind of soon, isn't it? We have 4 games left?
No, it's December.
Mm.
So look how good the Patriots are. 11-2.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
Broncos 10-2. I would say we're more responsible for this.
Yes.
And their confidence.
Yes.
Than anything else.
Yes.
And then they went on to just roll everybody.
Yeah.
Because hey, we beat the champs. And then they beat Kansas City.
Yeah.
So both Dallas and Denver has beaten the 2 Super Bowl participants from the most recent Super Bowl. So they're feeling great.
Yeah.
They're feeling great. That's why you have to beat them. You just have to win that game. Jake Elliott, Zach Bond, just a bunch of saboteurs. And we are not going to have a bunch of home games this year. We're going to have to go on the road. We're going to have 1 home game if we win the division. If we lose the division to Dallas, which is possible, You can still trip and fall in and be on the road and get stomped out like in 23. I am so angry, but my trade went really well today, so I can't yell.
Well, my trade is.
It's good to be good at something, and I'm good at trading markets.
You know, my trade is.
I can't be too mad.
Allowing me to yell. So I am upset because they were 8-2 and now they're 8-4. How'd that happen?
And
Numbers don't lie,
and
people.
Dallas and Chicago, fine, they're fighting for their playoff lives, but so okay, this is the playoff picture. You know, only 7 get in, right?
Mm-hmm.
First team is now the Bears, gonna have a week off if it ended today. So the Bears now finish. They'll host. They'll have playoff advantage, and it's. I believe they have an outdoor stadium.
Well, I can't. How do I want to put it? You know, you get tired. So, yeah. I've seen these patterns before over 6 decades.
Yeah, with a mediocre team.
Yeah, and
these complaints are about a mediocre team.
And I've heard myself.
This is what I'm talking about. Is they're no longer a Super Bowl team.
I've heard myself repeat.
Like Nick's simple
words.
hire of Kevin Patullo has knocked us out of Super Bowl team. And now we're like, can the 2 teams that are on the bubble for the playoffs, the Lions and the Cowboys, who we both beat, which one of them is better to lose so we could like? That's where you're at now.
We have to be as tough as the Giants were when they gave us Saquon, okay, and then they fired the coach. So it's like we have to get as tough as that as the New York Giants do. They don't care. They don't have any partialities to anybody. They just do what they're going to do and fire. Period. It's all numbers. We have to be that way. We cannot be where we're holding the hand of the coach, okay, because he gave us the Super Bowl. No, this is what you do. He get the Super Bowl, then you fire him, okay? That's cold, but that's life, and that is the way it is. Ask any corporate entity, what do? Lay off right before Christmas. You know that. Everybody lays off right before Christmas, right? Corporates, they have no loyalties, goes by the numbers. It's like right before Christmas, they lay off thousands of people because why? They know tax season's coming and they want to have a solvency. Eagles is no different than that. They're a corporate entity. And I know it sounds cold and harsh, but, you know, that's reality of life. What's cold and harsh is how they're playing. They're sucking. They're 8-2, now they're 8-4. That sucks. That's to me as a fan of forever watching, that's cold reality. Okay? And I mean, these guys, I mean, you know, if Laurie wants to get ahead with our team, he has to fire Nick. And he has to give Patullo his walking papers because they're a sidekick. He's a sidekick to him.
Yeah.
You know, he's the one that brought him in because he's buddies. There's a time and place for personalities. Right? Even on a job, right? You don't see, I mean, if you're on a floor, and a manager on the floor, part of their whole thing is to observe their employees. And if they see 2 people chatting too much, and they're like, really, didn't you just have a break?
You're stealing my money.
You know, you're stealing, yeah. And if that adds up, then they talk to you, and then they give you a thing, and then before you're out of a job. Well, how is it that Eagles is such a corporate, and I bring this up every time, Eagles corporate entity, they don't allow for that strong sense of reality, of dose of reality to their players and to their coach staff and to their whoever's. Why don't they? Because then maybe we will be not 8-4, but maybe we'll be 9-1 or 10-2. You know, the numbers go up instead of down, like you just said, how the freaking Patriots are doing and how Dallas is doing. And, you know, we beat the teams, and now they're all doing better because why? Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, oh, we beat the Eagles. Yeah, see, they can't do it. They climb up so far, and they knock themselves down. And they do. I'm not blaming anybody except them. The coach, the coordinators, the players. They all sabotage themselves.
No, this is not a players. This is one guy, Nick. It's not Kevin Patullo. It's Nick.
Well, then but if you fire Nick, you got to get rid of Petullo.
Well, of course, but they're tied. But if you get rid of Petullo, you still have Nick. But I don't want to be too hasty. He's in 4 monster games, 2 championship games, 2 Super Bowls. He's 3-4.
I guess I'm being greedy. I want a third one.
He needs not this year.
No.
He needs proper coordinators. The problem is he hires them. So I think with Vic settled, wanting to retire this way as defensive coordinator, he said it himself. I'm not hoping. He said it. I'm done. This is all I want to do. And who knows how long I want to do it. Maybe he'll get so frustrated I'll just be like, you know what? Life's too short. I got a few years left in my window. I'm just gonna retire. Who knows how annoying it's gonna be for him? I don't know. But right now your defense is settled. Your offense, the personnel is beautiful. You can do everything. You got 2 small, fast guys. You got AJ. No one can guard him. What he did to Chicago, he could do to every team. And this is why he's complaining. It's one thing if you're winning, and I owe AJ Brown an apology. I was mad.
No, we all do.
I was mad because he complained after the win in Minnesota. I didn't like that. Don't complain after a win. But he had been telling people forever.
Yeah.
This isn't good. This isn't good. Like, we were still winning, so, I didn't care. And I'm not, I'm not that knowledgeable. I'm not on a player, coach, coordinator level. I'm just a fan. But I was happy with wins. I'm a grateful person. Give me the win, I'm cool. But he knew this was coming.
And didn't you say Lane? Lane
after week 3, Lane's like, they know what we're doing. Predictable. They know what we're doing.
So he's been with us a long time.
Yeah, man, you have to listen to the players.
Yes.
I just don't understand how big is the Petullo playbook? Because if it's a predictability issue, and it seems to be, if it's a 300-page, 300-play playbook, and you keep running the first 90, why don't you just flip to the back of it?
So like a good
and
book?
Just look at the last 90, of which you have run none, and run them in this week, and make this new team see a whole new crap.
Yep.
Because in the NFL, they got guys that are just studying, the hip movement off of at the beginning of a route, right? The wide receiver coach is like, if his shoulder does this, blah, blah, all this stuff, right? Every position has a coach that's like, look where his hand is, and they just, every little thing they study to look for an advantage. These NFL players are much smarter than people like to give them credit for. And the coaches, this is like their whole livelihood was studying that film and figuring out how to get over. Obviously, if we're running the same plays over and over, which is what burned Chip Kelly, because he was all about it doesn't matter what the play is, it's execution.
Back to the style.
That's like Andy Reid
in his
the wide receiver talent doesn't matter because it's the system. In the West Coast offense, I can get anybody open. And look, when was the Chiefs most dominant? When they had Tyreek Hill and the other ones. They got rid of Tyreek Hill, they're just not as good over years. When was he best with the Eagles? T.O. Players matter, but it's not solely players. If A.J. Brown is hard to guard, right? But no, it's going to be by formation, down and distance, that he's going to run an out route. It doesn't matter that he's physically better, stronger, or whatever than the guy. That dude's jumping that route because he's guessing, and they're guessing correctly. If you scored 10 points against a team in the NFL, look, we won 10-7. That's not happening in the playoffs, guys. I mean, we go from, come on, are the Packers 18 points better than the Giants?
Obviously.
They've played each other this year. It was a
Yeah.
close game.
Yeah.
So, and this is after a bye. Well, your coach Patullo had 2 weeks with Nick and everybody, and they come out and drop 10.
Well, 2 points I'd like to mention.
We beat Detroit by 16. You're not winning the playoffs with 10 and 16 points?
Remember I mentioned to you before we played the Bears that when I was growing up, I watched the Bears with my father, and they were very aggressive because of the styling of the coach.
Yeah.
And he used to say it's a boys' club, mentality. Well, it's true because look, you just mentioned 2 styles of coaches, right? Buddy Ryan and who else? The other one that you mentioned about their style of what they want on what they expect. Andy Reid, right? The way they say it's this or it's that, but it's not really this or it's that. It's like a style of the coach is what I'm trying to get at. Okay, and Nick is part of that boys club. He has that same style.
He has that mentality.
Exactly. And the mentality is what's hurting our team. And yes, he got us, I'm going to say this until I'm blue in the face. He got us a Super Bowl. Fine. So did Pete. And Pete had a lousy attitude towards Philly. Okay. And that's why he's not here. He's not here.
So bothered
it
by
was
that?
so hard they fired him. It wasn't easy to fire him.
Why are you so bothered by
Because
Doug
this
Peterson?
is why. If Pete,
you're allowed not to like a town.
Pete obviously didn't care for Philly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you listen to his interviews, you could just tell. And I listened to all of them, especially the one during COVID when they couldn't be outside doing it. That's when his attitude really came out.
Well, sure.
But anyways, he said that his wife really loved it. But, then he left that, So we're all
that's not a compliment.
Yeah, we're not, exactly.
That's a clever insult.
But he had a styling that didn't work well with Philly. He's out. So he got us a Super Bowl. So this is my question for everybody. And if you could leave a comment for Jeremy, I'd appreciate it. Because this is why. No one thinks about these things. They don't look at the psychologies of things or the attitudes of things or the mental this or that. They don't look at it. They don't look at the style of the coach. They don't look at this or that. They go by other things. But as a fan for all these years, I've been watching this stuff. And I'm telling you, it does matter because there is a style. There is a boys' club sort of mentality. There is a stubborn streak coaches have. And this is it. Pete didn't get along with Philly too well, right? He was fired. So why, Howie, okay, if you're listening to this, why were you able to so quickly, and Lori, so quick, whoever does the firing, who was so quick to fire Pete, and he got us a Super Bowl, and he wasn't here with us for very long, a few years. How come it's so hard for you to fire Nick? Nick got us a Super Bowl, but Nick has that stubborn streak. Nick goes back to old plays, old calls every time. He gets into it. You can watch him on the field when he gets desperate, right? Then he goes for a field goal instead he goes to a route to get a touchdown. I see it all the time. I'm going to tell you something. I don't get upset and all that shit stuff anymore. I used to do it, like when I was Jeremy's age.
You don't anymore.
No. My father told me when I was in my 40s around Jeremy, even at 40 age, 40 something, I used to get so blustered about it too. And he told me one of these days, we were watching a game together in his house, and he says, one of these days, he says, when you get older, you're not going to be doing that anymore. I'm like, what? And he goes, that bluster and all that. I said, well, you still do it? He goes, no, once in a while I do it. I mean, I hold it for the playoff games, and then only certain times. I'm like, okay, Dad, I love you. But he was right. He was right. Okay.
He did not see a lot of playoffs.
So now I am in my 60s, and guess what? I'm doing exactly like my father said I would do. And I've mentioned this to Jeremy too. He may do the same thing too. He gets all blustered now, but when he's older, that gets sort of weary, especially when they go from 8 to 2 to 8 to 4. Those things. So, anyways, it's the styling, the stubborn streak. Fire Nick, people. Fire Nick and make Patullo go with him. Get a new one before the playoff games.
Mom, you don't have to keep separating them.
All right.
Patullo is Nick.
Yeah. Okay. So
you can get rid of Patullo and keep Nick.
No, I don't want to keep Nick. That's the whole idea when we're both gone, because I see the same things happening. That song in your head, round and around and around we go. Well, in 2023, I wanted Nick fired, right? Everybody's like, oh, yeah. Well, now we're 2025. and I want him fired
Oh, is there any chance
before the playoffs.
the Saints fire Kellen Moore and only give him 1
Oh,
year?
would that be nice?
But I don't think he would come back as OC. I think he'd be like, nah, I need to be a head coach.
Did he have that stubborn streak styling type sort of thing too?
Well, he was only here for 1 year. And,
Oh, hard to tell.
You know,
No,
it does take a while for teams to figure you out.
Skip it 1
Look,
year.
look. So this is the deal. What I said about film, everybody gets figured out. The reason that Vic Fangio is able to still do it at a high level is because he adapts to them figuring him out. You know, he's been bombed away on. He understands. Case in point, they played Baltimore last year. It was like a prove it game for us, right? We were on the road. Baltimore was very good. And they kept bringing up that Vic Fangio's defenses were absolutely terrible against Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And Vic shut them down. They scored less than 20 points. We won the game. The ball, offensively, we didn't do much in the first half. In the second half, we controlled the clock, scored a couple touchdowns. They could not score.
Yeah.
They had field goals and turnovers. I think maybe 1 touchdown. But Vic beat Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
The point is, you know, Vic figured it out. Nick has been figured out.
Yes.
Without Shane Steichen, you know, we remember 23.
Yeah.
He was figured out. It was stale.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Johnson's offense from Florida, Top Billin Explained. Check out his website. I learn a lot from him. The offense that Brian Johnson ran in Florida never got to Philly. So Nick controlled that even though he had a puppet. He tried the same thing with Kellen Moore, and they're 2-2. And after it, you could see Kellen Moore was calling plays, and we won a Super Bowl. Patullo is running Nick's offense. Now, Patullo came up with Nick, so maybe it's the same. Maybe it is Patullo's offense, and because he's been with Nick so long, it's the same offense. But it's totally figured out.
Yes.
Chip Kelly couldn't win a game because he was totally figured out.
Yeah.
And then Chip Kelly was dumb enough to say, I like to have formations so that basically the same 7 and 10 plays, I forget exactly what his phrasing was, but a same handful of plays can be called out of the formation, and it's easy to just go quick, because he thought going quick was everything. Well, defensive coordinators notice. Yeah. And they're like, this formation, they run these 7 to 10 plays.
Predictability.
And nothing worked.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing worked.
And we didn't have Chip Kelly long.
3 years. 3 years. And in the middle of his 3rd season, after Howie was banished to another building or the far wing or whatever, Chip was given full charge of the team 2nd year on. Drafting was still terrible. Howie's previous draft was that linebacker, and that got it taken from him. He wasn't drafting well. Chip Kelly had the whole team, the whole charge of it. And then he says in like November, December in his final year, if something about putting it on Howie.
Yeah.
And Lori fired him for that.
Good.
He also didn't go to the Christmas party, and
wow.
Lori looks at that as a slap in the face.
It is.
Lori's very old school.
Yeah.
There are times where you come together, show face, show peace, show
and eat
cohesion,
together.
eat together, just to show there's no bad blood.
That's right.
Chip Kelly doesn't do well with human beings.
Right.
If you've ever listened to LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson, they do a podcast.
Oh, I love this.
And in one, they're like, all right, we need to finally cover why we feel how we feel about Chip Kelly.
Good.
And Deshaun Jackson clearly hates him.
Good.
LaShawn McCoy was much cooler about it, but he clearly doesn't like him either. But it was an excellent podcast if you're an Eagles fan, because you got a lot of insights as to how players they felt just disrespected by him.
Yeah. And
both men felt like he just didn't like black people.
Who was that for, so I can watch it? I don't know if
it's good. It's on YouTube. LaShawn, just Google LaShawn McCoy Deshaun Jackson
Okay.
podcast, Chip Kelly.
Okay.
It should come right up.
Yeah, I don't think I see
They
that.
dedicate that whole podcast.
Yeah, I would like to see that.
To explaining, because they had been for so many years asked the question. They're like, let's finally get into it.
Yeah.
In the middle of it, they call Jason Peters. Remember our star left tackle?
Yeah.
He's a great left tackle for years.
Yeah.
Gotta be Hall of Fame. And I think Deshaun calls him in the middle of the podcast, and he's like, "Yeah, we're calling about Chip and how he ruined our Super Bowl team." And Jason Peters responded quickly. It was good. Very good if you're an Eagles fan and you're wondering about the Chip Kelly era. But the big thing is he got figured out.
Yeah.
When an offensive coordinator is figured out, you got to shake it up.
Yeah.
You bring in outside consultants. If you're like a Chip Kelly or Patullo seems to be, you're using the same set amount of plays. Go to the middle or go to the back of the playbook. Ones that you have not called.
Yeah.
Practice. Pick 90. Practice them this week. And drop 60 of those 90 new plays that is not on film this week. And make, with your star power, make the Chargers deal with plays they have not seen on tape.
Yeah.
And this is another reason you have consultants and all that, so you can bring in some new ideas. They're in desperate need of another coordinator, but they're stuck now. It's December, so probably we will not. I have no confidence that we can score more than 13 points in a playoff game.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's fixable at this point. I expect one and done in the playoffs. The rest doesn't really matter too much. I'm looking forward to, my trading's going well. So I can only be so pissed. But as an Eagles fan, this really stinks. And look, I mean, they should not be. It's fine if they're 6-5-1. We should still have 2 losses. Come on, the Denver loss is still ridiculous. Fine, the first Giants, they beat us pretty good. But we could have easily been up in that third quarter. The second Dallas game's silly. And then what we did against Chicago, I mean, if we could just... They possessed the ball. There's your delivery.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, go ahead, finish it.
I'm just going over these losses.
You said that the Giants and
the Bears possessed the ball 2 out of 3 plays, or 2 out of 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They ran 80-something plays on us.
Yeah,
we had like 40 or 50 or something. The 3 and outs.
Just looking at that score really pisses me off. 15-24. It just does. And the one before that, Dallas, we were 21 on the board for the first half.
Also, I need a new kicker.
And even Elliott.
I can't keep letting this guy slide.
What the heck?
Yo, those 3 points in Dallas were big, man.
Yeah.
And this is why Nick. It's another way it goes back to coaching.
Yeah.
If you know his upper limit is 50
yards.
50. Why are you running them out there on 56-yard field goals? Punt and pin them deep when your defense was playing well.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been as bad of a loss. Actually, 3 points would have been.
You don't give them the ball there.
Tied.
You don't give them the ball there at midfield. You know Fangio. I mean, we had a lot of injuries fine in that game, and there was some shuffling. But Cooper DeJean settled in.
Yeah.
And DeJean was not a problem against the Bears.
Yeah.
So I guess he settled in.
I
don't know. Or maybe a Dory Jackson was bad.
Or maybe just now them just throwing it out here, guys. But maybe Cooper, DeJean, and all the others that might have messed up in the Dallas game or the Bear game. Maybe the Dallas Cowboy game they messed up and then they rewatched the tape so that they wouldn't keep the same mistake for the Bear game. But that wasn't enough, people. If Nick isn't doing his part. Players can only do what they're told to do with their plays. And if they do an all of a sudden change, like they did to Saquon that one on that game, I think it was Dallas, and he did that change, Patullo, I think that's what happened. And then he missed the catch of the ball. Somehow it was like a quick change.
Yeah, look, Saquon Barkley's not playing well.
No, he's not playing well, but he usually does.
I need Tank Bigsby in. I don't want to see Tanner McKee. because Jalen's not your problem. He did not have a good game against the Bears.
Jalen's not the problem.
But
Jalen's doing what I wanted him to do, which is do more throws to AJ. That's all I wanted him to do. And
I want to
that.
see Patullo have 60 new plays.
Yeah.
Against the Chargers.
Yes.
All right. 60 new plays.
Huh.
Like have them do
homework.
Something that has not been on film.
That's right.
If you're not capable of it, well, I mean, he's fired regardless. I mean, unless Patullo, like, starts suddenly... I mean, it's so fixable. You start scoring points, win the Super Bowl, and everybody can be like, wow, that was a bumpy first year.
Right. It's forgivable.
But
forgivable.
Hey, 30 points in the Super Bowl.
They made up for it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's where that saying came from. Make it up in the playoffs.
But right now, I have to react to what I see, and I don't think we can score.
And please, guys, rewatch the tapes.
I don't think we can score more than 13 in a playoff game.
So.
And our defense is just frustrated and exhausted.
Yeah.
You see it in game.
Yes. Yes.
All of a sudden, our defensive line isn't popping off the ball.
Yep. That's why I decided, guys and girls who's watching, I am not going to get all like hyped up and all that expectation stuff anymore. I'm just going to watch the game.
Oh, just to show you.
And be hopeful, of course.
Just to show you who you lost to, because I looked at this early Friday before the game started to get an idea. They lost to Minnesota, who's not good, and they lost to Detroit. They beat Dallas when Dallas was terrible. They beat the Raiders, who were terrible.
Yeah.
They beat Washington, who's terrible.
Yeah.
They beat the Saints, who were terrible.
Yeah.
They beat Baltimore. No, they lost to Baltimore when Baltimore was trying to snap out of it.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Cincinnati, who's terrible. They beat the Giants, who's terrible.
Makeup game.
Then they beat Minnesota in a close game.
Yeah.
They beat the Steelers, who are average. And they beat us, who used to be good and have a decent record. But this is not a juggernaut. And the fact that we lost to them at home when we needed a get-right game is really embarrassing.
It is embarrassing.
And losing to Chicago really... I walked out. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even finish.
I know. I left in the last 3 minutes.
We started our podcast when the game was still on.
Yeah.
Because it was just obvious and stupid. And now I got to sit here and with actual anticipation see if the Lions and the Cowboys, who are outside the playoffs right now, go the way I want it to.
And the Lions...
That's where I'm at. I need to see if that game, with two out of the playoffs right now teams, goes the way I want it to.
And we beat the Lions, right?
Yeah, but I shouldn't care about this.
No, I know you shouldn't.
I should just be like,
I shouldn't be thinking about the Cowboys.
Do the Cowboys make the playoffs? I should be thinking... who am I going to play?
That's right.
Right? All right, I got the first seed.
Yep.
I got 2 losses.
Yep.
I beat the Bears.
Yep.
I beat the Rams.
Yep.
I'm going to beat them. So I'm 2 games up.
Yeah.
Am I playing Packers, Niners, Lions, or Cowboys? No, wait. I'll have the week off.
Oh, that's
so
right.
I don't even care.
Yeah.
I don't even care. Just keep winning. Get the first seed, and I don't have to worry about who I care about until the first week of the playoffs is over.
Yeah.
But because of playing Patullo, Nick's hire, I have to care about this tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm very annoyed about it.
Yeah, because it's old school stuff, and it's like rehashing stuff. And I mean, I thought that the Dallas Cowboys was such a memory to us.
I don't like that I have to care about that.
Yeah.
I should not have to care about that.
Bears, I was like this with, because, I was. But the Dallas Cowboys, no. Unexpected.
If we see them in the playoffs, I don't think we could beat them. I don't think we can.
They're playing pretty good.
I don't think we can score enough points.
And, especially them winning against us, that is not good. Because it's all about motivation and, we got them,
Well, my trade went well, so
that's good.
I'm happy.
Yeah,
but the Eagles, probably a new OC, and a new head coach this year.
Well, your trading's good, but how just
The
as
Commanders are not eliminated
just as
mathematically.
a point of view here, how are the shareholders of the Eagles saying? Are they saying the trade's good?
I don't know.
I mean,
Well,
they're losing.
They sell out. They make money. What do they care?
Oh, I know, but they're not making as much money, and that they do care about.
You're right. All right, I'm done.
Okay, so everybody, just whatever your game is, whoever you watch and who are loyal to. For me, of course, it's the Eagles. I do vent. Yes, I get upset. But I now understand, God up in heaven, I understand now what he meant when I would ask him, well, so are you going to watch again? And of course. You love him and you hate him. You're going to watch the game. I get that now.
I don't hate them. This is just...
And it's the saying.
Well, look,
because in the deep and the mix of it, in the deep of it, and you're like, well, your heart's like, and you love them, you hate them, and then I ask, you're gonna watch again, of course. Well, yeah, I know how that feels now. I am disconcerted. I'm not feeling valid as a fan player. So there's that love hate relationship sort of thing. But of course, I'm gonna watch again, and I'm gonna be hopeful. I'm just not gonna be high expectations.
I don't want it. But it's very possible we have a half a game lead over Dallas after this week.
It'd be lovely.
Because they're going to beat... No, it's not. Right now we have 1.5 game lead.
I understand, but a lead to me sounds good.
No, it's not. What are you talking about?
Okay.
No. They're going to be right on our ass the rest of the year because we're going to lose to the Chargers. And then they're going to beat the Lions. And then they're going to be right on our ass the rest of the year.
And how about the Chiefs?
I predict the Cowboys jump us and we become a wild card team.
Okay, so let's go that way. If they do jump us, like you say, are we still in the running or are we out?
It don't matter. They're not going to win a playoff game. This team is irritating me more than the 23 team. And because this man, Nick Sirianni, does not learn.
No.
Why would you give another guy... In fact, it's worse than Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson was a play caller, and he put a guy that's never called plays before in charge of a Super Bowl team. Yeah, you gotta be fired. I'm done.
I'm sorry, I just don't get upset about it anymore. It's just a flat fire to me now.
Yeah, the more I think about it, Nick's gotta be fired. This is stupid.
Yeah.
All right. It's like when Andy Reid in his final year makes Juan Castillo his offensive line coach forever, turns him into his defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Because because Juan wanted it, and because Juan spent so many years dissecting defenses as an offensive line coach. And of course we were terrible defensively.
So let me ask a quick question before we go off the air here. Lori, are you going to hold on to Nick as the Eagles franchise?
And then Lori has to look at it like, what did he do?
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't care that much anymore.
Yeah.
I gotta keep it fresh. One thing about Lori, he keeps it fresh, and I love it.
That's lovely. However...
remember, he's got 2 Super Bowl
true.
appearances now.
Yeah.
On the second year of a new coach.
Yeah.
So he knows, we can win the Super Bowl or get to the Super Bowl in year 2.
Yeah.
With Howie's roster of a new coach.
That's right.
And then the league figures them out.
Now where I'm at.
So it's time for new blood.
And it's right, and before the playoffs, I'm saying, okay? So it's a sense of urgency. Like I've been saying through every podcast,
they're one and done.
Sense of urgency. We have no sense of urgency. So a quick fire to Nick would be a sense of urgency. Bring in a new player, a new coach, get them acclimated, Players are all on an even keel now. Sense of urgency. We're going to the playoffs ahead of schedules here. Sense of urgency. Playoff win. Super Bowl, sense of urgency. That's what I've been trying to say. Now,
are you okay with Vic Fangio head coach next year?
If he wanted to take the job, I'd be absolutely for that.
And maybe because I've been worrying about losing Christian Parker, our great secondary.
I don't know him.
He's our secondary coach.
Okay.
And look what he's done with Quinion and Cooper DeJean. He grows people.
Well, if he's the one
or Clint Hurt, who's a great defensive line coach.
If he's the
I've been worried about losing either one of them to become a defensive coordinator because they've been defensive coordinator, or Clint Hurt was defensive coordinator for Seattle, so I've been afraid they would be hired away. If you promote Fangio, you can keep one of them and promote them to coordinator. And then all you got to do is go find an offensive coordinator.
Well, whoever's responsible to help getting Cooper DeJean out of his funk, I say keep.
I'm ready.
He's a good player.
I'm ready for Vic Fangio.
Me too.
Head coach.
And he's got the experience, and he's got the aggressiveness.
I love his press conferences.
Say that about him. Isn't that new Phillips player say that about him? Yeah, some people think he's mean.
Jalen Phillips.
But he's not mean.
No, he said they got along well.
He got along well with him. It's aggressiveness is what we're looking for, guys. We're 8-4 now. We're no longer sitting saying, "Oh, let's be nice, guys. Let's do this. That's all over now."
Yeah, I'm ready for head coach Fangio.
It just feels right. It feels right to have a change.
I want him to be in charge. Promote either Hurt or Parker to DC, and go find an OC. Because Kellen's not going to get fired after 1 year.
And he's probably not going to want to come back anyways. But the thing is...
To be a head coach, you would.
Well, this is the thing.
Remember, there was no bad blood there.
The thing is, you don't wait to knee deep in playoff games to make the change. You make it beforehand. They already got the schedule out. This is when you make the change because the players need to get acclimated to the new coach. Coach has to be good with the players, okay? So, and we know that there's obviously something that's been going on off and on for a couple of years now with the players, some of the players and Nick. It's an obvious thing. It just is. So let's do a change, get some new blood in, get rid of the old blood, right? Say, hey, thank you for the Super Bowls, but you got very well paid for that. And that's all it's about, isn't it? Dollar and cents. I mean, fans pay a lot of money to go see the games, guys. Us fans have been watching forever. We deserve better than what we've been getting. The players are doing an even keel system right now with all their plays and everything they're doing, so they deserve better. Fire Nick, let Patillo walk with him, 2 people in one, however you want to look at it. It's all about perception, right? Okay, let them go, okay? Bring in new, and that's it.
You can fire Patillo and keep Nick, but firing Nick, of course, removes Patillo.
Right.
And remember, don't be throwing eggs and rocks at his house. That happened last week.
Oh, no. It's not about that.
Guys, that's terrorism.
You keep your aggressiveness on the field, guys. We're all grown-ups.
Eagles fans.
But Lori, I want to know.
That's domestic terrorism.
Lori, I want to know.
Leave him and his family alone.
Yeah.
Of course he needs to be fired. Of course he stinks.
But it's a professional football team.
Don't become a criminal terrorist.
Keep it within the field guidelines of a professional and all diplomacies and everything. Of course, that goes without standing. And I don't think I should say that when you're all grown adults over 18 anyway. But, I'm a mom, and sometimes everybody has to be reminded, even myself, okay? So, yeah, let's keep it on the playing field, okay? All the aggressiveness on the field to play the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl, all right? Not outside the box, okay? So, Lori, I only have a question for you is, are you going to keep Nick despite all odds like you did Lori for 13 years?
Reed.
Lori, I'm sorry. See that? I'm getting all wound up.
Is there
Andy Reid.
Is there anything Nick could do to not get fired in your mind?
Yes.
What?
Not to have us have the thought that he should be fired. Because that relates to him playing well.
But is there something concrete he could do?
If he's in a position where he can go for a touchdown and instead he goes for a field goal because he's out of desperateness, he could stop that. That means he can do different on the play calls.
I'm talking about this year.
Oh, yeah, that's a part of this year too, isn't it?
So just that.
Well, there's a few things, but that's the one that comes to my mind right now. That's a good starter right there. In one of those games, if he would have went for the touchdown instead of the field goal, we would have been ahead, right? Which game was that?
I don't know.
The whole point of it is that he can and also change his stubborn streak. We all have a little bit of stubborn streak in us, but for him, it's a professional football team, and he's the leader. So that means all his players, how many there are, follow his lead, Petula's lead. Okay, Vic. I've listened to Vic.
I'm ready for head
Vic
coach Vic Fangio.
Fangio doesn't sound he has that stubborn streak. He has the more of a father figure thing. Okay, and what do all good fathers do? They lead, right? They lead the family. They lead. So if you want to look at it that way, Nick, because you're family connected and you have to have your buddies in there, look at it like you're supposed to be a leader of this football franchise, players that are all finally on the same keel with each other. That's what he could do. See, there's a lot he could do, but he's not going to do any of those things. That's why I say now, round to go, fire him, like I said in 2023. But that didn't happen, and this probably won't happen either.
So yeah.
How about you? What can he do for you, for him to stay?
He was only head coach once. I'm done. He's gonna win the Super Bowl, and he's one and done in the playoffs. I have no confidence in Nick.
So he couldn't do anything to make a change.
He has to win the Super Bowl.
Well, that goes without saying.
He will not. So,
but we have to get to the playoffs first.
I'm tired of watching this.
And how about Petula? What can he do to
let
make
me tell
a change?
you something. I haven't enjoyed watching much of the season.
I'm about halfway on that.
It's not been fun. I'm ready. So, win a Super Bowl, Nick.
Well, how about Petula? Can he do anything in your mind?
Yeah, he scores 30 points a game. Like the roster that Howie gives you should be yielding. We should have average low 30s, some games 40s. One wild game in the 50s. Maybe you get a special teams touchdown. We need special teams and defensive touchdowns to get into the 20s. We're yielding half of the harvest that we should be.
Well, I shouldn't have to say this as I do every podcast, but I'll say it again. Every quarter gets us a touchdown. That's 28 points. Right there. Right there.
And you throw in a field goal.
There you go.
There's my 31.
There you go.
With that firepower, should not be a problem in the NFL.
But I'm not going to say that now because the reason why Dallas got us 21 points to the first half, and then the third to the fourth we lost the game and they sucked. So I'm not going to say that anymore.
But you know what? He don't want to be a head coach, so you're gonna have to fire. You're gonna have to hire an offensive coordinator who will also call his own plays and hope that we can win the Super Bowl before he gets figured out, and then fire him. Unless he shows he can adapt to people figuring him out. Nick has been figured out, and his solution, the team's solution was, well, let's just get you a new OC. Work with Kellen Moore. Just won the Super Bowl. Okay, whoever you want to go with. I mean, you remember 23. Okay, but you just won the Super Bowl. Does it again, makes the same mistake from 23, and it's... there's mistakes, and then there's mistakes. There's a dropped punt, and then they get the ball, and it costs you a game. Or maybe your defense stands up and turns it over on downs, like in Dallas. But then there's the mistake at the top of the organization that costs you a season. And I have not enjoyed much of watching this season. I want it to be over.
And last podcast, I'm pretty sure I said it in the last podcast.
Yeah, also, we're wasting a great defensive effort. I mean, we're wasting a roster.
Yes. Burning a roster, my father used to call it.
You're burning a Super Bowl roster.
Yeah, he used to call that, yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, Howie has provided 4 straight years of Super Bowl rosters.
Yeah.
And Nick has only closed on 1.
Yeah. And the thing is that last podcast I mentioned that I was going to look at all the coaches from over the past so many years to see who has that boys club mentality, style of coaching that we don't need. But you know what? I changed my mind on that. I don't want to do it. I had second thoughts. I'm just going to keep whatever energy I have left to finish out the season and be hopeful that they get the playoff games and get to the Super Bowl. Hopeful. That's the word I want to use. Anything else
Well,
you want
maybe
to say?
I hope I'm wrong, and Patullo figures out how to score 30 points a game the next how many games and win the Super Bowl. But I think he is what he is. He's been figured out, and one and done in the playoffs. But yeah, I'm with LB right now. I don't think we can beat the Raiders because I don't think we can. I don't think we can score 20 points a game even against a crap team. All confidence is gone.
That's it. That's all I got.
Cool. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Obey Jesus, saving Bitcoin. Jeremy Haynes.